Good morning, students. Here we start with the anatomy of the atypical thoracic vertebrae. In case of atypical thoracic vertebrae, we know that we have thoracic 1, then we are having thoracic 9, then we are having thoracic 10, then we are having thoracic 11, and then we are having thoracic 12 as atypical vertebrae. Very simple. With the help of line diagram, if you keep this in your mind, it will be very easy to understand each and every vertebrae, to demarcate all the atypical vertebrae which are asked in Viva, which are asked maybe in MCQs or 1-mark question answer. It is based purely on the line diagram. So here, if we draw the first thoracic vertebrae, if I draw in this way, and the superior articular facet, and then over here the transverse process, and then from here the spine which is horizontal, and this is the first thoracic vertebrae. Now here we shall draw the costal facet present on transverse process. Now remember that this spinous process will be horizontal. This spinous process will be horizontal. This is the vertebral body. This is the superior articular facet or process, inferior articular facet and process. This is the superior and inferior vertebral notches. So what are the characteristic features of the first thoracic vertebrae? The first thoracic vertebrae here will be, the body will be completely cervical in shape. It will resemble the body of cervical vertebrae, in which the transverse width will be more than the anterior-posterior width. That is the shape of the first thoracic vertebrae. Now here if I draw, please come on this side. So here if I draw, very simple, this is how the body of the first thoracic vertebrae will be there. The transverse width will be more than the anterior-posterior width. It will resemble any cervical vertebrae, the body of any cervical vertebrae. Then number 2, second difference with respect to vertebral foramen. As you can see, the vertebral foramen here for the first thoracic vertebrae will be triangular and larger than the vertebral foramen of typical thoracic vertebrae. So this vertebral foramen will be triangular and larger than any other typical thoracic vertebrae. So here if I draw the pedicle and the transverse process, this is the pedicle and the transverse process, and here the spinous process. Second difference, vertebral foramen of first thoracic vertebrae will be larger and triangular than the vertebral foramen of any other typical thoracic vertebrae. This is the second difference. Third difference, please come on this side. Thank you very much. Third difference with respect to these two arrows. Now here the superior vertebral notch will allow the transmission of, it will allow the passage of C8 nerve. So here there will be passage of C8 nerve from the superior vertebral notch of the first thoracic vertebrae. From the inferior vertebral notch here, it will allow the passage of the first thoracic spinal nerve. So T1 nerve. It will allow the passage of T1 nerve. This is the third difference. So remember, superior vertebral notch of T1 will allow the passage of the 8th cervical nerve, and the inferior vertebral notch of the T1 will allow the passage of the first thoracic nerve. Point number 3, difference number 3, or characteristic feature number 3. Now number 4, the spine. As you can see, the spine of the T1 will be long and horizontal. Once again, the spine or spinous process of the T1, this will be, T1 will be long and horizontal. This is characteristic feature number 4. Now number 5, this is the main feature as of. In number 5, we show that superior costal facet present on the vertebral body of T1 will be a complete costal facet, and the inferior costal facet will be a small demi-facet, because superior costal facet, which is present at the upper margin of the side of the vertebral body of T1, will articulate with first rib, and it will be a complete costal facet. Whereas the inferior costal facet will be a demi-facet, inferior demi-facet, for articulation with some part of the head of the second rib. So these are the characteristic features of the first thoracic vertebrae. Now we take the characteristic features of thoracic vertebrae 9. Now we take the 9th thoracic vertebrae. Now in the 9th thoracic vertebrae, same way, if I draw here, this is T9, and here if we show in this way, the same features, and we show here the transverse process. So the spinous process we shall draw, this is the transverse process, this will be the spinous process. Now here, what are the features of T9? Remember that T9 will resemble entire typical thoracic vertebrae features. All the features of typical thoracic vertebrae will be present in T9, except only one. And that one will be, all the features will be of T9. Costal facet present on the transverse process. Even there will be the costal facet which is present here at the superior margin. And that costal facet will be, once again, that will be a demi-costal facet which is present on the superior margin for articulation with some part of the head of the 9th rib. At the inferior margin, there will not be any costal facet. So here, this inferior margin will have absence of that demi-costal facet, because here there is no presence of costal facet, as the 10th rib, which lies below, will articulate only with the 10th thoracic vertebrae. So because the 10th rib will articulate only with 10th thoracic vertebrae, here the demi-costal facet is absent. So this is the only point of difference between T9 and the remaining typical thoracic vertebrae. Only point of difference, absence of inferior costal demi-facet. Absence of inferior costal demi-facet on T9, and the remaining features will be same as typical thoracic vertebrae. This is the only point of difference in T9. When you memorize this diagram, when you keep this in mind, it will be very easy to differentiate between these vertebrae. So this is T9. Now we consider T10. Now if we consider T10, then what will be the features of T10? Here I will simply mention this as T10. In T10, there will be presence of only one costal facet, and it will not be demi-facet. Remember, in T9 it was superior costal demi-facet, but here it will be one costal facet only present at the upper margin. It will be one costal facet present at the upper margin. So rather you can show it in this way. It is one complete costal facet present at the upper margin. What about transverse process? Yes, there will be presence of the costal facet on transverse process. So this is the feature of T10, only one point. That is, it has the presence of one complete costal facet at its upper margin, at its upper border. And inferiorly, no inferior demi-costal facet, no. And here this facet will give articulation to head of the 10th rib. So remember, the difference between T10 and T9 is with respect to this superior costal facet. In T9 it was superior costal demi-facet, in T10 it is one complete costal facet. Now we come to T11. Now in case of T11, supposing if this, I mention this as T11, what will be the difference? In T11, two changes from T10. What are those two changes from T10? Number one, here absence of costal facet on transverse process. No costal facet on transverse process. Why? Because the 11th rib is supposed to be floating rib. So So there will be absence of costal facet on transverse process, 1. And 2, it will have the same complete costal facet like T10, but the only difference will be this costal facet, complete like T10, will be present slightly below the superior border, slightly below the superior border. So complete costal facet present on the side of the body of T11, just like T10, but this costal facet will be slightly below the level of the superior border or superior margin. In T10, it was present just at the superior margin. And another point of difference between T11 and T10 is absence of costal facet on transverse process. Please note down these 2 points. Please keep in mind this diagram. That is why these figures, these diagrams are very important to memorize all the anatomical features. Now we come to the last one. In the last one, that is T12, it is loaded with 3 exceptional features. So therefore this is T11. Now we come to T12. In case of T12, let us draw. Now this will be T12. Here we draw the T12 with superior articular process, and this we show as transverse process. Here we show the spinous process, and we complete the vertebral body, and we name this as T12. So therefore, now since here we have completed this spinous process in this way, and here we show superior articular process or facet, and here we are showing the inferior articular facet, this portion, and the spinous process, the vertebral body. What are those 3 features? Number 1, the first feature of T12. In case of T12, let us darken this first. In case of T12, the costal facet, the first feature, costal facet, will be exactly midway between superior and inferior margins or superior and inferior border, and the same costal facet, complete round costal facet on the side of the body, will be encroaching on the pedicle. This is the word which is used, encroaching on the pedicle. So therefore, if I want to make the costal facet over here, I will draw the costal facet in this way. This is the presence of costal facet. This is feature number 1, costal facet present on the side of the body of T12. Between, it is exactly midway between superior and inferior margins, superior and inferior borders, and it will be encroaching on the pedicle. This is first distinguishing feature of T12. How to identify T12? Second distinguishing feature. Remember, we have marked this in the form of 3 processes. The transverse process here. Now remember that this is the transverse process which we have marked, and this transverse process will show, if I darken this with yellow color, this is the superior tubercle, this will be the lateral tubercle, and this is the inferior tubercle. This is the transverse process of T12. Each side of the transverse process, right and left transverse process, will show 3 tubercles: superior tubercle, inferior tubercle, and lateral tubercle. So the transverse process of T12 will have 3 tubercles. Now remember, this is asked in MCQs or 1 mark question answer, very important. The superior tubercle here of the transverse process will resemble, or it will represent morphologically, the mammillary tubercle present in the lumbar vertebrae. So superior tubercle of T12, the transverse process of T12 will represent the mammillary tubercle of the lumbar vertebrae. The inferior, now here, inferior tubercle, this portion of the transverse process of T12 will represent morphologically the accessory tubercle of lumbar vertebrae. Accessory tubercle of lumbar vertebrae, please note down. So therefore, here, if I represent this, I simply show this as mammillary tubercle. It is representing mammillary tubercle, that is superior tubercle. Here, this one I will mark this as inferior tubercle, which it will represent it as accessory tubercle of lumbar vertebrae. And then this one over here, this is the lateral tubercle, and this lateral tubercle of the transverse process of T12 will represent the true transverse process. It will represent the true transverse process of T12 itself. Once again I repeat, the superior tubercle will represent the mammillary process of the lumbar vertebrae, morphological representation. The inferior tubercle will represent the accessory process of the lumbar vertebrae, morphological representation, and the lateral tubercle will represent the actual, that is the real, true transverse process of T12. This is feature number 2. And feature number 3. Feature number 3 will be with respect to inferior articular facet or inferior articular processes. The inferior articular processes here, if I show like this is the inferior articular processes, and mark it, the inferior articular processes or inferior articular facets. Now these inferior articular processes or facets, they are directed laterally and forwards. They are directed laterally and forwards, just like lumbar vertebrae. The inferior articular processes of T12 are directed once again laterally and forwards. They are open laterally and forwards, just like lumbar vertebrae. This is feature number 3 of T12. So feature number 1 of T12 was with respect to costal facet, encroaching on the pedicle midway between superior and inferior. Feature number 2, we have discussed extensively about transverse process, presence of 3 tubercles. And feature number 3 is the presence of inferior articular process, which is directed outwards and laterally. So it is directed laterally and it is directed forwards and laterally, or outwards and laterally, forwards and laterally, just like lumbar vertebrae. These are the 3 important features of T12. So here we finished the gross anatomical features of all the atypical thoracic vertebrae. Thank you very much.